For many, the entertainment on board a cruise ship will either make or break their cruise. But with the dizzying amount of choice available today, who are the real show stealers and which ships and lines really stand out? Keep watching Planet Cruise Weekly to find out more. So hello and welcome to episode 41 of Planet Cruise Weekly with myself, Keith, and Glenn.
41 episodes in, we're still going.
We mentioned before we started about the questions that sometimes we got asked when we were on board, and the questions we still get asked now we do the show, and of course you're speaking to people that book the Planet Cruise every day. What are some of the kind of strangest questions or kind of most common questions that you get asked?
What time is the midnight buffet?
Yes.
Do the crew live on board? No, we commute every day.
You're harking back to the old cruise director's routine that we used to do. It was kind of almost
that's quite good for this episode, isn't it?
It is. No, you're right. It is definitely. Or the other one, does the ship generate its own electricity?
Yeah, that one.
It was always interesting.
I mean, one of the strange, we get asked loads of questions, and obviously we get so many people now getting introduced to cruising, and I think it's quite a daunting product, especially you see all these different cruise lines and different prices, and people are going, well, this is what we've got to spend and we don't know what to do. So we get asked a lot of questions when people phone in, but one of the strangest questions we get asked on board is, will they be entertained? Will they be kept interested? And what is on board to keep a family of all different ages sort of occupied during their cruise? And not every cruise ship will necessarily suit everybody's taste. Standards have never been higher though, or the choice more diverse.
Now in the early days of passenger shipping, the entertainment would revolve around a small band, maybe some deck quoits, some shuffleboard and a few packs of cards. But then after the 1960s and the advent of the jet age, passenger ships became almost redundant overnight and began to reinvent themselves as cruise ships. And it was then that it changed, because there was then a constant battle to innovate, delight and ultimately entertain the guests who were no longer just going from A to B, but were cruising for the sake of cruising. So the game changed, and because of that, the world of cruise entertainment was born.
In fact, the race has never been so ferocious that cruise ships now boast some of the best entertainment around, featuring world-class singers, dancers, performers, acrobats, and full hit Broadway shows like Hairspray, or of course the breathtaking Cirque du Soleil.
Now, this is something that's very close to my heart, mainly because I was a cruise director for 12 years. First, let's start on the basics, because just in case you are new to cruising and new to all of this, we need to iron out a few of the basics. With a few exceptions, namely some of the very small expedition ships, some of the special interest ships, and some of the kind of sailing yacht style cruise ships, the overwhelming majority of cruise ships will all feature the following as standard. We're going to get this out of the way and then look at stuff in more detail.
A theatre with a resident show team who will perform a series of West End inspired shows in the evenings, of course, and this theatre will also feature guest artists who have flown in and sail on board for the cruise or part of it. These could be comedians, vocalists, musicians, magicians and general variety performers.
Now the theatre will always be hosted by somebody called a cruise director, or more likely nowadays increasingly known as the entertainment director, and he or she will oversee the entertainment programme. They'll MC the events on board, and they'll also have a team of resident entertainment officers who run daytime activities on board, such as quizzes, deck games, social events.
There will also be some live musicians on board, normally at the very least a pianist, a duo and a party band who will play in music in a variety of different lounges, mainly through the evening and of course throughout the cruise as well.
Now in every cabin or stateroom, depending on how they're named, you will get of course a TV set. That TV set will have a selection of channels that will be delivered by satellite. Of course it does depend on the reception of where you are in the world, but there'll also be an internal system of recent blockbuster films that will normally be shown on a loop system.
Now the ever popular ball games and cards will be available 24/7 from the reception or a dedicated lounge, and if there isn't a dedicated cinema, one of the lounges will be converted and recent releases shown several times throughout the cruise itself.
Every night there'll also be a dedicated disco. If there isn't actually a dedicated room, then one of the ship's lounges will again be transformed into one, and it will be hosted by a professional disc jockey. So now we've got all that out of the way, the rest of this episode will focus on which cruise lines go beyond those basics we've just mentioned and how they do it. So first up, we're going to have a look at Norwegian Cruise Lines, who we feel are probably best for the variety, the sheer variety and amount of entertainment they offer on board. Now, their theatre shows are literally direct from Broadway, with shows like Rock of Ages, playing on Norwegian Breakaway. You've also got Priscilla, Queen of the Desert on Norwegian Epic, or the Tony Award-winning $1 Million Quartet on Norwegian Escape and Getaway, which features the music of Johnny Cash, Jamie Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and of course, Norwegian Project.
For lovers of Strictly Ballroom, Norwegian Getaway, Breakaway and Epic feature a sizzling Latin and ballroom dance team who perform Burn the Floor. Another great feature is their dining and show offerings with Cirque Dreams on board Norwegian Epic and Breakaway, where acrobats tumble from the roof while you dine. Or the Illusionarium, which brings together dining, magic and illusion, featuring a series of magicians who perform special effects under a planetarium-style video projection dome.
Norwegian are also king of a dedicated live music venue, such as my particular favourite, the rock and roll inspired Dueling Pianos, yeah, House of the Moon I think it's called. And I experienced it for the first time on board Norwegian Escape when we were invited on board to do some filming. It's really good fun. You've also got the intimate Fat Cats Jazz and Blues Club, where passengers will enjoy soul and blues from the work of maybe people like B.B. King, Otis Redding and others. And new, as of 2015, the Cavern Club, which, as you can get by the sound of it, is on board Norwegian Epic, and it represents live British pop music, including naturally hits from the Fab Four. Give me a Beatles track.
Love and Do.
Not your favourite?
That's the only one I can know off the top of my head. Famed Chicago-based improv comedy troupe, The Second City, put on sets on several of the ships, including the Norwegian Breakaway, the Dawn, the Epic and the Norwegian Gem, with early evening family shows and late night sets for the 21 and older crowd, so make sure you don't take the kids to that one.
Now, we're now going to move on to Royal Caribbean, which we believe are best for innovation probably and cruise first.
I would say they're always just pushing the barrier.
They are, aren't they?
You look at ships now that they brought out, the last three they brought out in the last 18 months we've been on, haven't we? I think it's Anthem, Harmony, Innovation, and what they've done to them ships is
superb.
Yeah, really taking it to the next level.
Pushing the boat out.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, literally. Now, Royal Caribbean love to innovate, and they were the first and still I think the only cruise line to offer ice skating shows in an onboard ice rink, and in fact water-based acrobatic shows in a pool-based stage area. Both shows are performed by highly talented professionals and standards are extremely high. And again, they pay a lot of money to get the rights to perform the full versions of West End classics like Cats and We Will Rock You.
They also offer a wealth of onboard activities with surfing and skydiving simulators and even the good old-fashioned fairground classic bumper cars.
Okay, now on their latest Quantum class ship, they feature something called Cafe 270, so named for the vast curve of floor-to-ceiling windows. Now it's a multimedia theatre that combines virtual concerts, robotics, aerial shows and video projection, and the tech is straight out of the NASA Mars program. It's mind-blowing.
Best show I've ever seen on that 270. I've never seen anything like it.
Brilliant,
absolutely. Better than Vegas or anything. It was superb. Murder Mystery Dinner Theatre has been huge in the UK for many years, and Royal Caribbean now offer it on board. Passengers play detective and the joke-cracking cast mixes with the diners at Portofino's or Giovanni's table.
Now also for live music fans, there's the Rock and Roll Temple Music Hall, where cruisers can rock out to cover bands, people like the Beatles again and Bon Jovi. Plus you get strolling musicians that suddenly appear when you're around the ship, and you could even stumble on something I love called the Stowaway Pianist. Now he tends to work on Anthem of the Seas, and then he sporadically appears around the ship with his piano, and he starts kind of hosting sing-alongs.
So this year I was very fortunate enough to do my first cruise with my family and took my wife and baby on a Carnival ship, Carnival Vista this year, which was based over in Europe. And again, Carnival is great for entertainment. We think it's the best for informal, relaxed entertainment, and again it does cater for all ages. Carnival Cruise Line's fleet is known as the fun ship, so you kind of expect a big focus on entertainment and really putting the joy into your night times.
Now, rather than spending their money on the rights to some of the big hit musicals from the West End and Broadway, what Carnival are doing is pouring their money into technology, making their shows more visually impressive. And what it does is it creates a real consistent level of entertainment across their fleet. And more than half of the line's 24-ship fleet, rather than just a couple of the flagships, all have the 3D LED screens on stage and lots of extra special effects. They normally give you around 4 different stage shows which are performed, and the productions are tributes to Motown. You've got rhythm and blues, you've got Jerry Lee Lewis, Elton John, and Billy Joel, or maybe classics from Dirty Dancing and Footloose.
Now, Carnival's trump card are their live cruises, which host ticketed shipboard concerts and comedy shows, while vessels are docked in the ports of places like Cozumel, Nassau, Grand Cayman and Montego Bay. And when I say they bring acts on, they bring on acts like Tim McGraw, Jay Leno, Lionel Richie, and even the very lovely Miss Britney Spears. Carnival are miles ahead when it comes to live comedy. Each ship features a Punchline, a comedy club, which schedule family-friendly shows and later adult-only shows. So again, make sure you read the fine print and go to the correct show.
Carnival are also well known for their singing and dancing waiters in the main dining rooms. In fact, they feature as part of the entertainment in a lot of the reviews. They perform everything from the old standards to Bollywood hits, while parading by and on the dining tables and grooving on top of their serving stations. Now, Disney Cruise Lines have to be mentioned here. They win lots and lots of awards, and we pretty much think that they own the title Best for Family for obvious reasons.
We're going to have to take the kids on one of them, aren't we?
We are. Not together, because that makes it seem like we're a couple, but your kids can go with mine kids, and maybe we could do a kind of double family date.
Yeah.
But they are absolutely incredible, and again, one of the most awarded lines when it comes to entertaining the whole family, or big kids as well, so really from the age of 1 through to 100.
Disney film favourites are brought to life on shipboard stages with kid-friendly 45 to 60-minute Broadway-style performances that include highlights like Disney's Aladdin, Toy Story the musical, and Rapunzel-inspired Tangled the musical as well.
Now, a real highlight is what's known as the Golden Mickeys, and this is an awards ceremony, kind of slash musical in which Disney characters are invited up onto the stage and walk the red carpet to compete for their prizes.
On one night each cruise, Disney launches an all-out themed deck party complete with an interactive musical show, dance parties and at-sea fireworks.
They were the first company to introduce fireworks at sea, which is really, really impressive. I can't even imagine that as a cruise director. It would have been an organisational nightmare.
Now, kids can start the day off right with character breakfasts or later afternoon teas where they can share a laugh with Goofy or hug with Snow White. Come dinner time, the fleet-wide Animator Palette Dinner show combines Pacific Rim cuisine with a high-tech space where animated Disney character sketches seemingly come to life around you, and I've been there before and it is simply superb.
And you know what, it's not just about cruising for the kids as well, there is loads of stuff also for the adults to do.
There's also an adult section on Disney as well, so you get a place to go and have the discos and stuff like that, and obviously most of it is featured for the kids.
Yeah, so if you do want to go there, have a great experience, but not necessarily be surrounded by young children the whole time, you can do that. Now, next up, Cunard, a company close to both of our hearts.
Yep.
It's where we met.
We did, yeah.
We met
and we broke
Cunard.
up there, didn't we?
We met and broke up on Cunard, you're right, okay. And we've said that basically Cunard we think is best for culture, and we don't mean that too much in a highbrow way, but they do have a different approach, Cunard. They've got some really unique, long-standing partnerships with several world-famous organisations. There's private theatre boxes for live shows, the only planetarium at sea, and celestial shows narrated by the likes of Robert Redford and Tom Hanks.
Now, Cunard's flagship, the Queen Mary 2, which is my old home and same with Keith as well, also houses the largest ballroom at sea, complemented by a traditional 8-piece orchestra, a professional ballroom dance duo and gentlemen dance hosts.
Now, special relationships with a variety of well-known dramatic organisations provide some truly spellbinding and utterly unique entertainment for the passengers. People like London's acclaimed RADA send graduates and staff aboard Queen Mary 2's transatlantic crossings to put on a variety of amazing performances, including hour-long, so slightly reduced renditions of Shakespeare's works like A Merchant of Venice, Richard III and Romeo and Juliet.
Queen Mary 2's transatlantic crossings also set the stage for some high-profile concerts at sea. In partnership with the Gilliard Jazz School, several crossings highlight performances from the prestigious school's students and faculty, and the new special Blue Note Jazz at sea crossings include performances from the likes of Herbie Hancock, Gregory Porter and Dee Dee Bridgewater. Plus, there's always 1 or 2 sailings a year that highlight stirring concerts from the National Symphony Orchestra as well.
Always normally conducted by Anthony Inglis, who is absolutely spectacular. Now, Cunard also hosts a very impressive Insights programme where public figures are invited on board to share their memoirs. People like Buzz Aldrin, Sir David Frost, John Cleese and Sir Jackie Stewart are to name but a few, and it's an amazing opportunity to hear these people speak in a real candid and open way.
Now, I also used to work for P&O Cruises, and these offer a very good but fairly traditional programme of West End style shows and UK guest artists. But their jewel in the crown is the partnership with the widely popular Strictly Come Dancing series. And you'll find the Strictly cruises on different ships throughout the year, and guest appearances from pro dancers and judges, and even the chance to get involved on the dancing action yourself.
Dun, 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 dun.
7.
Now, you will have noticed that we have deliberately left out many impressive lines whose entertainment is excellent, but in the interest of time, sanity, and of not repeating ourselves too much, we have chosen to focus on the original and unique elements of the cruise industry and the entertainment provided within it. So apologies if you feel that we've neglected to mention your favourite ship or brand.
That said, there are some honourable mentions, and must include the visually impressive multilingual shows on MSC, the numerous game shows and light entertainment of Princess Cruises, and Holland America's latest ship, the Koningsdam, which has an impressive and immersive music walk complex where, thanks to a trio of impressive partnerships, there's a combination of America's blues, genre-spanning chart toppers and chamber music on offer every single night.
So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview about cruise ship entertainment, and as you can see, it's come a long way in the last few years. Now, if you'd like more information, click the link above and it will take you through to our website for more details. Now, if you want to get in touch, and again, we do love it when you do, it's so important, please do comment, please do tell us what you want to see, what you don't want to see, anything at all is most welcome. Glenn, if people want to contact us?
You can do it a number of ways. As normal, you can contact us at hello@planetcruise.co.uk. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube channel as well, make sure you like us on that. And the other way to do it is go onto the website, and that will give you a list of all the cruises that we have. Now again, it can be a minefield and people have no idea what they're booking if you've never booked a cruise before. Doesn't matter, that's what we're here in the office for. Give us a call, the number's on the website, and we'll point you to the right cruise and get you out cruising there.
Now, a big thank you to these people who have been in touch over the last week. So first of all, Harry Quinton, he said, looking forward to the sailing, counting down until Monday, big smiley face. Thank you very much, Harry. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. We need to, Harry, get back in touch with us. Let us know where you're off to, please. And Debbie Waggy Holmes. I like that nickname, Debbie. That's really good. I wonder why they call her Waggy. So the boys doing what they do good, and then lots of kind of like applaud hands emojis. So hopefully that's been of use to you. Hopefully it's given you more information about cruise ship entertainment. Don't forget to get in touch. Thank you very much for watching from myself and Glenn.
Cheers, guys.